cold. The ice hasn't even fully melted yet. That's how cold it is. Oh, the nuts. Oh, I've got to get used to this. Next weekend's river is going to be much colder. Right, morning team. So I've received your questions and your bits you want me to run over. So I've been asked one about nutrition. Now I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert racer. I know what I'm doing. I'm honestly just making this up as I go along. But I feel like I've done pretty well this year. 2 years ago I ran my first half marathon. I trained in 5 weeks to do Windsor Half. I got round in 2 hours 26. I was very broken afterwards, but I did it. I didn't walk. That was my one aim, was to not walk the whole course. I could be jogging as slow as I walked, but I wanted to jog every single step, and I did it. So I then decided it was the October, I would start training. I did, I didn't start training. I did in the April, I did my first ever Spartan race, and it was more a challenge. One of my patients, Reva, had said she'd run a marathon and hated every step of it, but she'd done the trifecta, which is a half marathon, a 10k and a 5k Spartan, all in one weekend, and you get an extra medal if you manage to do all three in one weekend, which was, if you can do it, I can. I was really wrong. In my head, not knowing what I was getting into in Spartans, I thought, well, I'm really strong from the gym, so I've got to like run to an obstacle. Monkey bars are just like pull-ups, right? So it's a bit of a recovery for me. I'll do the obstacle, then I'll run a bit more, do an obstacle, run a bit more. Wow. I got through the half marathon, but I was really, really sore, really tight that evening. And then I got onto the monkey bars on the second day on the first 10k, and I tore my lat because my shoulders were so tight, I was so fatigued, my grip was so done from the day before. And I think like you don't take into account the movement, the fatigue, the stress, the cold. I mean, I did it in April, it was hot. I've not yet run a cold Spartan. I've just been lucky. I'm guessing my ultra is going to be freezing just to test me. But so I decided, you know what, I did a 10k on Father's Day. One of my dad's wishes when we lost him was to have his ashes spread at Newbury Racecourse. And it just so happened that last year there was a 10k run at Newbury Racecourse on Father's Day. So I did that. And that was my first sub 60-minute 10k in at least 15 years, since I went above 12 stone. So fast forward to this year, and I hit 20 stone over lockdown, and not a good 20 stone. I know I'm big, I know I weight train, but I hit 20 stone, and that's terrifying. That's one injury away from being that obese guy you see on the telly that's being told if he doesn't lose weight he's going to die. One injury, because I eat to accommodate my weight training and my training. I eat about 3,500-4,000 calories on a normal day. I'm a lot lower now I've been running, which I thought it was going to be the other way around, but hey. So I set myself the challenge to do every Spartan race the UK has to offer this year. And because it was such a big challenge, I decided to do it to raise money for Mind, because I lost all my mojo over lockdown. I wasn't myself, I had no drive, I couldn't make myself get in this ice bath. You've probably seen, if you haven't seen, go onto TikTok and look at my first attempt to get in my ice bath. And I go ankle deep, and I can't make myself sit down in it. And I've never been that mentally weak in my life. But, you know, the last 3-4 years have really taken a toll. And I have, over this year, regained a lot of where I was. I'm a lot more disciplined. I remember who I used to be. I've done, I think, 14 races so far, totaling I think I'm on 130 miles now. Might be 120 miles this year. We've raised £1,300 for Mind, which is amazing. Everyone has been so generous. And it motivates me, because I kind of feel like if I keep pushing and I keep driving, I'll be able to raise more money and help more people. Because I'm nearly where I wanted to be. My aim, I've got one more Spartan weekend, which is my ultrafecta weekend. So trifecta being half marathon, 10k, 5k. Ultrafecta is an ultra marathon, 50 to 60k. depending on the course, how many penalty loops I take. And then a 10k and a 5k the next day that are going to total about 20k, I'm guessing, overall, between my fatigue and the course variance. So 80k in a weekend. That's mental, really mental. I've built myself up. My 2 longest weekends I've done so far this year, I've taken all year to build up to them. I did a 30k in one day, a half marathon and a 5k, totaling 29.8k. Once that was a Spartan. And then this weekend just gone, I did 3 hours racing nuclear race, and then I ran Windsor half marathon, and I ran every single step of it. I got 2:18, which is faster than my first time. I think fresh I might have 2 hours in me, but that's a horrible course. Well, it's not an amazing course, it's hard. So in total, I've spent 5 hours on my feet this weekend. To put that in context, I will be running for 10 to 12 hours on the Saturday next weekend. I will then do another 2 to 3 hours on the Sunday. And I can't decide which I'm more nervous about. I'll get through it. The only way you're bringing me off that course is if I injure myself so badly I have to be ambulanced off, because I'm not stopping. And this is what I've lost, and I'm back in that headspace now. I will not stop. That's easy to say when I'm not on the course and suffering, but I will be doing lives, and I'd love you to follow me. I'm going to need your support. Spartan is an incredible way of getting back into a sport and having something to focus for. It's very technical, it's mostly dry. There are 2 courses with river crossings, but if you can't swim well, they do offer you a lifeboat, a lifebuoy, or Andy, who's running with me, has colostomy bags. So he can't go under the water, he can't risk the infection. So there's a dry course they've offered him, which is amazing. They're really, really adaptable. I don't know how I fell into nuclear. Oh no, I do know how I fell into nuclear race. I saw someone with a nuclear race dry fit top at Pippingford Spartan last year, and I said, "That's a really cool top. What's that?" And she was so amazed by like nuclear, like, you have to go and try it. It's really exciting. It's really cool. And nuclear is a bit like a hybrid between Tough Mudder and Spartan. The obstacles are hard, but not as technical as Spartan mostly. There are some that I would say are probably harder, but on all it's more fun and like a team event. It's about getting around it. You can make it a really brutal race if you want to, which is what I'm going to do next year. They do a thing called Oblivion, which is as many laps of the set course as you can do in 13 hours. There's a minimum you have to do to get your Oblivion medal, but if you don't, they give you the basic medal, which is nice, right? But I quite fancy that challenge, which there's something wrong with my brain. And I got given a place in the London half marathon, and I did 2:06. If I'd known how fast I was going, I would have pulled my finger out and got the sub 2. But it's nice to have that challenge. I know I have a sub 2 hour half marathon in me, which I didn't ever think I would do. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, I have no interest in running a half marathon. I'll never run a marathon. Because it's stupid. Why would you run that far? I'm not built for that. I'm now down to 17 stone, and I feel really good. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I feel amazing. I walk around with my top off a lot, and I was at the point where I wouldn't walk around with my top off in front of my wife at times because I was embarrassed of my body. I've always had body issues, but you know, if you're not happy in your own skin, do something about it. It's hard and it's scary, and you might need help. There are amazing personal trainers. There are amazing nutritionists. If you want to do it on your own, you can do it. It's just a lot harder. It's, you know, you can service your own car, but why would you if you could get a mechanic to do it who knows what they're doing? You're not going to risk messing it up. Has always been my approach. So yeah, that's been my year so far. I've got 2 weeks. I am really nervous, but like anticipation nervous rather than scared of this in 2 weeks. Because even if I fail, even if I tear my hamstring, get pulled off the course, I don't finish, I will write, did not finish across that Spartan vest. I will train the whole of next year just to own that course next year. And when I do, I will burn that do not finish on the fire pit at the end of next year's ultra. I will use it as fuel. I will learn what I did wrong, and I will get stronger. I have 2 more races after this. I've got a nuclear race and hopefully a Spartan in Europe, if I can do it financially. Obviously I've got to consider the expense on my family and time out of my business, but I'd like to get one more super. So that's my year. That's what I'm doing. This is where I am. I would love you to be supporting me, to shout for me, to message me. I'm trying not to put this sort of stuff up too much because it's got to get boring. So I promise you in 2 weeks' time, you'll hardly hear from me about running unless you ask. I'm going to do a post on my pre-race, post-race nutrition and recovery because I was asked for it by my friend John Cox, who I went to school with, I used to row with. He's a great athlete himself. He's a sports therapist up near the Lake District. So I'm going to do a post on that. It will be my experience, what I've found works for me. I'm not telling you it's the right thing, but I've spent most of this year where you can see my six-pack if you squint and lean your head to the side, which is the first time in my life. So I must be doing something right. The guys at Primal Nutrition, Matt Roberts, Matt Chim and Liam, they're a wealth of knowledge. I did 6 months of training with them at the beginning of this season. I am where I am because of the training they gave me. So yeah, thank you so much, Primal. If you want to become an elite Spartan competitor, you need to join a group, get a coach. There are a lot of coaches. The guys down at OCR Play Park are incredible. They coach people directly, and the training days that I've done with them have been invaluable. I'm going again. I'm taking Mum on the 30th because my mum's doing her first Spartan to help me finish my event for my 5K. Yeah, if you want to be elite, if you want to podium, if you want to earn money, if you want to make this your elite sport, again, you can do everything. You can do anything you want to if you set your mind to it and do it properly. But learn from people's mistakes. Learn what they've learned and accelerate your timing. Remove the risk of serious injuries because they've made those mistakes and they're going to teach you. You know, the Primal guys were always really welcoming. They're a really big family. The OCR Play Park guys are amazing. Some of the people I've met, I love OCR because everybody is so nice. Like I ran with I did my nuclear last weekend, running with the training team from Nuclear Forest, because when I said I was running it on my own, they went, "Oh, don't be daft, come run with us." And it was a slow ass 5K, but we had so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And then Chris, one of the runners, he was running A6 10K the next day and going for a sub 40, which is insanely fast if you don't run. Came and did the second loop with me, just caught me up and we ran the whole second loop and we just filmed each other on phones and GoPros. I think we did like 45 minutes for the second lap, which is quick for an obstacle run. And then what I watched, and I see it in Spartans a lot, especially the Opens, because you're not allowed in the elite categories and the age group categories, was Chris stopped. He saw one of his friends who was doing the Oblivion, the stupid 13-hour, why the hell are you doing this, you're a mental person race, and grabbed his hand and dragged him up a hill when he saw him struggling. So I followed suit and got someone to jump on my back and piggyback them up. And it's so nice to have that sportsmanly, friendly. It's what I want my kids to get into because it teaches them about being a good sportsman. So I will be competing next year, nowhere near the amount I am next year, but I am going to do this next year. If you want to come and try some racing, come and do it with me. I'm not looking for, fastest time in the world. I just want to have fun and get around the course and do some obstacles and help some people and get people into the sport that I've really enjoyed, and it's going to help me find my path a little bit. That's enough wittering. If you've managed to listen to all of this, you kind of deserve a medal on your own. Watch this space. I will do you my nutrition video. I'm going to do my stretch and recovery video. I'm struggling after this weekend. I blew out. I had to take a rest day today, and that's what I struggle with most, is resting. I will do a chat and some exercises and bits that I'm using to maintain my body. And then I'll do some training videos, just some real simples if you want to just start getting into Spartans. And it'll all go on my YouTube, my Instagram and my Facebook. Please message me on this or private message me if there's anything else you want me to help you with, especially tying in with the Ultra coming up, but because it will distract me. It will give me something to do in the next 2 weeks when I'm having to rest and I don't want to. Well, I've no idea how long I've been talking, but I've been in the ice bath long enough now. My breakfast is cooking. I need to get to work. Have an amazing day. Thank you for listening to me, and watch this space. I will be putting my purple Ultrafecta medal up on my wall very soon.